It takes two criminals to commit a crime of human trafficking, a seller and a buyer.
A year after she faced pushback from lawmakers for legislation that sought to increase charges for the trafficking of children, California State Senator Shannon Grove is once again facing opposition, this time for a new bill, SB 1414, that seeks to make the solicitation of sex with a minor a felony, punishable up to 4 years in prison. Shannon Grove represents Bakersfield in the California State Senate. She joins us now with more. Senator, good to see you. What is the mission of this, and why is this so necessary?
Oh, absolutely. It's a follow-up to SB 14 last year that went after the seller of children in the trafficking industry. Our coalition of survivors wanted to go after the buyer this year because of the brutality and some of the things that they had faced during their time in this dark underworld. And so we introduced SB 1414 to make the purchasing or solicitation or engaging a solicitation or purchasing a child for sex in California a felony. It is currently now a misdemeanor with few exceptions. And we wanted a $25,000 penalty. We wanted them to be registered as a sex offender for repeat offenses. That was our bill. And then we went to committee yesterday.
Yeah, and when you went to committee, some of the most progressive Democrats in Sacramento basically said that your bill was too broad, and they agreed to what you were doing for those under 15, but essentially keeping the misdemeanor in place for kids that are 16 and 17 years old. Your reaction to that and to their argument that it was too broad?
The bottom line is that all children need to be protected from this heinous crime, and for them to eliminate 16 and 17-year-olds from this protection and putting a target on their back to say it's just a misdemeanor to continue to buy sex from 16 and 17-year-olds is absurd. The other amendments they forced on our bill was that if you are 15 years old and younger and your perpetrator purchases you for sex, the first time it's a wobbler. So the judge or the prosecutor can still charge you with a misdemeanor, and they requested a minimum of 2 days in jail, no prison time. The third thing they imposed upon us was the second offense for this particular purchase of a minor for sex, again, under the age of 15, because 16 and 17-year-olds are excluded from additional protections. And this 15-year-old would be purchased, again, a second time. The perpetrator could be eligible for a felony, but again, no prison time, only jail time. And then they threw this bizarre, convoluted amendment in there that added the fact of the sex registry. Ours said for the second offense, you would be registered as a sex offender. They adjusted that and said that within a 10-year age gap, if an individual is purchasing sex from a minor child, then they operate within a 10-year age gap, 15 to 25, 14 to 24. If they operate within that age gap, then they would not be required to register as a sex offender. But if you go outside that 10-year age gap, you would register as a sex offender after your second offense.
So you are working with some Democrats to try to change that and get your bill back to the way that it was, and they're now moving on to another committee, and so we'll see if they're able to accomplish that. You've been busy this week, though, because this isn't the only thing that made news for you. You joined forces with Paris Hilton. Yes, that Paris Hilton, who was on up in Sacramento with you. Let's listen to some of what she was talking about.
I know firsthand the horrors that happen behind the closed doors of youth residential treatment facilities. I know the feeling of helplessness, the despair of being trapped in a system that thrives on secrecy and exploitation. It's a nightmare that no child should ever have to endure.
She's talking about youth treatment centers, the very serious side of Paris Hilton. What is the status of that, and what's it like working with her on this?
She's really an incredible advocate. You know, you get the glitz and the glam of Paris Hilton, but she's a brilliant business owner, and she is also has the hugest heart and a shine in a spotlight on these, they call them STRTPs, or short-term therapeutic treatment facilities and programs, treatment programs. And the bottom line is that we have reached out to Department of Social Services requesting the use of, how many times the information on use of restraints in seclusion rooms and emergency, what they call emergency injections or medication to calm a child down. We were not able to get any of that information. So we're requiring with this bill that they provide the legislature, make a dashboard and make it available to the public for any time restraints and seclusion rooms and the emergency medical injections are used. And with Paris Hilton seeing this piece of legislation, asking if she could come on board and participate, we were so grateful to have her and her life experiences of what she went through, and her highlighting this bill and many other bills across the nation and the world for that matter. She just got back from Jamaica, is highlighting and protecting these children that end up in these vulnerable situations, most of which are foster youth.
And obviously this is such an important topic, but just on a lighter note at the end, do you have a favorite Paris Hilton expression?
So my girls do. She did a video for my girls, and at the end she said, and this is hot.
Although sliving is the new one that she's a big fan of as well.
Yes.
So you're sliving, this is hot, you're getting it all. We do it all here on the Fox 11 News at 6. State Senator Shannon Grove, thanks for your work on really important issues. We appreciate you taking some time.
Thank you for highlighting both of these bills.
All right.